people, it's good to see you guys again. It's been a minute. Today I have a special guest. I have my beautiful friend Gbemi, who is a PhD student. I'm going to be showcasing some Black excellence on my channel in a little bit. So it's great to have Gbemi start off this amazing, whatever segment of my channel with you. But before we get to it, Gbemi and I are going to play a little game real quick just to kind of lighten things up.
Okay, I'm ready.
So,
like to win.
I like to win, you're fine. So the game is called, what's the first thing that comes to mind when you hear this word? And it's going to move like really fast.
Oh, okay.
So once I say the word, you just tell me what's the first thing that comes to your mind.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yes,
Okay.
I think so.
3, 2, 1. Family.
My mom.
Love.
Husband. I don't know.
Puppy.
Oh, golden retrievers.
Oh,
I love them.
sleep.
Long hours.
Money.
Oh, I want to be rich. I'm sorry.
Dead. Faith.
God.
That was good. Okay, that was not too bad. Okay.
So
okay.
you're not playing the game?
Okay.
I guess. Because you know.
You're going at the hot seat here.
Okay. Well,
But yeah, so that was just a little, let's just lighten things up. But I'll let Gbemi introduce herself to you guys. So Gbemi.
So hi guys, my name is Gbemi Sola Gbemi, but you can call me Gbemi as Moya was saying, or called me earlier. So Moya and I met during undergrad. We both did our undergrad in chemical engineering, even though she was a few years ahead of me, but yeah, we met during undergrad. And right now I'm getting my PhD in biomedical engineering from both Georgia Tech and Emory University.
Yes.
So I live in Atlanta, which is a wonderful city in which I have loved living since I moved here. But yeah, that's just
Nice. That's awesome. So I think Gbemi has a very interesting journey, her journey to PhD and even through the whole process. And I thought it would be helpful to have her come speak to that experience. Part of my goal for my channel is to share personal development opportunities, and this is one of them. So we're going to be digging deep into Gbemi's journey to PhD and what she's experiencing right now. How did you decide that you wanted to get a PhD? Like, what made you decide to get a PhD?
Okay, first of all, I would like to say it was kind of like a journey. I never thought I was going to end up getting a PhD. So just to give a bit of background, when I started college, I wanted to go to medical school. I feel like my mind was set to medical school. I had so many dreams of being a doctor and like doing really cool things. But during undergrad, obviously I told you I did my undergrad in chemical engineering, but I was on the pre-med track, meaning I took a lot of pre-med classes like biology and all these other classes that were outside chemical engineering. But during the journey in my junior year, and that's like your third year of college in America, I started doing research. So I joined a research lab, and it was a biomedical engineering research lab. And I really fell in love with what I was doing and how I was helping the postdocs and the other researchers in the lab. And in addition to that, I really got involved with organizations that help to teach children STEM, or teach like not just children but college students or high school or middle school students STEM. And I really fell in love with that. And I was like, okay, I want to teach, I want to go into mentoring, I want to tutor. So it was kind of, what can I do in order to achieve those things? Even though, remember, I also wanted to go to medical school. Now, sadly, my medical school plan was kind of like not stable, because obviously medical school is expensive, first of all. And secondly, I don't like standardized exams. I don't like MCATs or GREs or anything.
Tell me about it.
I was like, okay, so what can I do? So I was like, okay, I heard of something called MD PhD, meaning you get your MD, your medical degree, and your PhD degree together. But obviously, it's so hard to get into those to get into those kind of schools or to programs that offer that. And I was like, okay, let me just try. So I started looking for schools that offer those kind of things. And then what they tell you on the internet is that it takes 7 to 8 years, but honestly, it takes like 10 years or 11 years or even more. And then I feel like the thought for me was like, do I want to really be in school for 11 years or 10 years.
Additional to bachelor's, like after bachelor's.
I was like, I don't want to do that. And then I was like, okay, what I can do is, first of all, try to get my PhD, since I have that interest in research, I have that interest in tutoring and mentoring and things like that. So like, let me get my PhD first, and if I'm still interested in going to medical school after my PhD, then I'll go to medical school. But that's how I came up, or ended up getting a PhD. Not getting a PhD, but starting the
journey of a PhD. Yeah, interesting. That's actually like, it's interesting how like, when you're heading in a direction, and then along the way you start to gain like more understanding of what you truly want, and there's nothing wrong in changing plans, and I feel like that's something that a lot of us need to learn, that it's okay to segue, that it's the whole process, and whatever you learn along the way, it's part of the process, right?
And I just wanted to quickly say something, like, so I feel like so many people start life or start college with like, oh, this is what I want to become and this is what I want to do. But I just want to let people know that can change, and give yourself, be kind to yourself. The fact that you want to do something doesn't mean you will end up doing it. Things may happen and it might not work out the way you want it to be, but there's still like hope at the end of the tunnel. I just wanted to
girl, trust me. Actually, thank you for sharing that. So right now, like, you went straight from bachelor's to PhD.
Yes.
What was that application process like? Because a lot of people, that's like really rare, right?
Yes.
People go from bachelor's to master's and then PhD, but you just basically like went straight to PhD. What was that process like for you?
Okay, so I first want to say that for you to do something like that, you have to have at least 1 year research experience. And even if you have more than 1 year, I feel like that would be really valuable to you. And in that process, not just research in your institution, but try to look for REU programs, meaning summer research programs in other schools. So if, let's say, you went to a school like USF, like University of South Florida, like we did, you can seek out summer research internships or positions in schools like MIT or Harvard or like all these other schools, not just Ivy League schools, but you can seek all these opportunities in other schools. So that's the first thing. I needed to have research experience. And secondly, obviously, I had to have good grades. I'm not saying that people that don't have good grades don't necessarily end up doing their PhD, but I feel like having good grades makes you kind of stand out. So that really helps. Also, having a really good undergrad research mentor, because I feel like that really speaks well or helps you, because if you have someone that is like watching out for you or looking up, I feel like that really helps. So there are letters of recommendation, not just from them, but most schools require like 3 letters of recommendation. So getting letters of recommendation from people who actually know that you're a hardworking person, and people who can speak up for you and be like, okay, this person, even though they came from a bachelor's degree and want to go for a PhD, they have all it takes to actually go through that path. And so I feel like that was like the main thing, like research experience, good grades, having people that can speak well of you. And the GRE, honestly, with the GRE, like I said before, I don't like standardized exams. I took the GRE twice. I did not do my best the 2 times, and I still got accepted to like 3 PhD programs. So I feel like schools aren't really necessarily looking at the GRE as much as they used to before. But yeah, I guess those are the things like you need in order to go from a bachelor's to like a PhD.
Right. So you've touched on a lot of things that I actually wanted to draw out. Right. No, apologize. I'm saying that because it's a great thing, because it's like helping me to think through that. So you've talked about mentorship.
Yes.
Mentorship is huge. Like, it's a huge part of your growth as, both a person, even in your personal life and professional life. So I like that you touched on that. Like, you need to, find someone that can advocate for you.
Exactly, that's the word.
So advocacy, especially for Black people, Black women, I think that it's so important that. So can you share, like, was there anything in particular that you did that helped you to find like a mentor?
Okay. Well, so with my undergrad, I feel like the ways I was able to find a mentor is, first of all, I'm that kind of student. When I start a class, I like knowing the professor, and not just knowing the professor, but like knowing the professor and making sure the professor knows who I am. Not like teacher's pet, but like, I just feel like at least let the teacher know, okay, this is Gbemi and this is maybe something she does. So I feel like that's a good step in finding a mentor, because you never know, a professor may just like you for some reason and like maybe start sharing opportunities with you or asking you to help them do certain things. Aside from that, also reach out. I feel like so many people don't want to reach out to people because they're scared or they feel like they won't respond. Trust me, you'll be involved in situations where you reach out to people and they will not respond. But I feel like you really don't know what people will do until you reach out. So being able to find a good mentor is reaching out, and that's how I found my research advisor. I sent my resume and told him what I enjoy and things like that. And there are some really nice people that are looking for mentees to help. So that I think I messed up your question, but
no, you're fine.
Okay, so yeah. And then with that was during my undergrad. And sorry, I missed something. But during my undergrad, I was also part of organizations. And with different organizations in your undergrad, there are professors that are like in charge of those certain organizations or direct those certain organizations. So being part of those organizations can help you build relationships with these professors that are involved in organizations. So that was for my undergrad. But during grad school, I had to actively seek out mentors. So aside from my research advisor, who I obviously reached out to and everything, she's a wonderful person, by the way. But I also, if I found an opportunity, like I found a Georgia Bioed opportunity where they were doing some mentee-mentor matching. And I was like, you know what, I'm going to apply for this. And that's how I got into that. And I met 2 people in the industry that were really able to help me with my resume and with connecting me to people in industry. And aside from that, also like conferences. So with grad students, we attend a lot of conferences like neurotrauma conferences or BMES, Biomedical Engineering Society conferences. So some of these conferences have opportunities where you can meet people, and also they have some mentee-mentor matching opportunities. So I also got involved with that in one of the conferences, and that's how I have another mentor. So to get mentors, you have to actively seek them out and be willing to actually I work with them, because it won't make any sense if you seek out a mentor but you don't know what you want. Like there should be a reason behind you seeking out a mentor, and you should actively be the person reaching out to them and telling them what you need. So that's just like a quick.
That's awesome. That's actually like there's so much to uncover, like in the process of like, you know, going through the process of doing a PhD. I think another thing that you mentioned was like just you highlighted like failure along the way. And you know, you just touched on it a little bit, but I just like wanted to, you know, talk a little bit about that. Like a lot of people don't talk about the failure that they have to face before finally getting to where they want to be, because we just see the glamour. Oh, like this person is a PhD student, they must be like, you know, really amazing, they just did it one time and they got it and stuff, you know. And for you talked about GRE, you took the GRE and you didn't get like, you know, the type of grades that you think would be
I hated the experience.
would be, trust me, like I hate standardized exams so much, like it's crazy. But I think I just wanted to ask, how did that affect you along the way? Like was there like any form of setback, you know, mentally, emotionally? Just, you know, take us through that.
Okay, so I will say, like, with the GRE, I feel like so in my program, when I was doing my chemical engineering program at USF, there were 5 of us in our class that wanted to get a PhD. Can you imagine?
Okay.
So there were just I think there were just 5 of us or 6. I can't remember. But when they all took their GRE before me, and then when they were saying their scores, they were like getting really, really high scores. And I was like, okay, that list is not bad now. Let's do it. And then I take my own GRE, and then I do like, it was really bad. I can't even, like, I was like, the percentile was really low. And so I feel like that affected me, because I'm like, all these people got higher scores. Like, why did I get a low score? And does that mean I might not be able to get my PhD, or schools won't accept me because of my low GRE score? I remember that day so the thing with the GRE, after you take the exam, they show you your score while you're seated. And I remember just going home, buying food on the way, going to my room, turning off the lights, turning on the TV, and just eating, because I'm just like, the scores were so... My score was so horrible. I was like, I don't even want to deal with this right now. And then
I like that you even got eat. It's like, please, I see.
I was like, I cannot come and kill myself. That's all I could do. And I remember, I feel like when those people asked me, "Oh, baby, how did you do?" I couldn't like. I wasn't like, "Oh, I did well" or anything.
Right.
I was like, oh, I just tried my best. I couldn't like tell them. I couldn't like, when I asked them, they did so well, so they could tell me their scores or like what. I couldn't say that. I couldn't do that. So I feel like that may have affected me mentally a little bit. But thank God for my parents, because my parents were like, okay, we'll pay for you to take it again, and this time we'll get you a tutor. So at least the math I tried, but the English I messed that one up so bad. So they got me an English tutor. So that person like tutored me, and I took the exam again, and I still did horrible. And I feel like
I like the honesty. She's like, this was supposed to be like a happy ending, but no, guys.
No, it didn't. I dropped my score. In the second time I took it, my math score went down. So I did worse in math. And then my English score just increased a bit. So I was still in the low percentile. But I was like, you know what? It is what it is. Right. And I still applied. And
look at you now, girl, with you getting that PhD.
So but I just want to quickly say that. So what can you take away from what I said? Even if you fail, you can try again. And even if you fail again, you can choose to try again or just choose to wing it. Give up. Don't give up. Like, just try and like wing it. Like for me, I could have said, oh, I don't want to apply to grad school because my GRE scores were so low. Right. But I still did. Yeah. And the thing with some schools, they give you the opportunity to write an essay telling them why your GRE scores were low. So some schools. So I know the University of Minnesota did that, and I was like, oh, this blah blah blah, and I got accepted to their school. Oh wow!
So I like that because I think it's ridiculous to judge someone's entire like educational career and like proficiency or whatever by just one exam. Like there's so many variables that play a role. Like you could be having a bad day, you could be tired. There's so many things. So I think it's just unfair to judge someone by just that one exam. So I like that a lot of universities are looking for like more creative ways to check people's suitability for their program. So I really like that. So now let's go. Let's move on to the PhD itself. You've already gotten accepted. You're in your PhD program. So what would you say has been the hardest part of this journey?
I would say the hardest part of this journey is, so when I started my PhD, I had these dreams and hope of like, oh, I'm going to publish a paper. I'm going to do this amazing research. I'm going to do amazing experiments and things like that. But I feel like the tough part of one of the things I've had to deal with is there's a timing for everything and things can go slow. So my project, we've been planning it since 2019 and we haven't still gotten the data for everything. So even though I had all these hopes and dreams of like, doing so, like publishing papers in my first year and doing all this, and it was not sad, but it was kind of, it affected me seeing some people in my cohort doing those things. Like people published papers in their first year, people were doing great things in their first year, but I felt like I was stuck. Like I wasn't really doing much. So I feel like that has been the toughest part of this whole journey. But things are moving forward, but slowly, but they're moving forward. So yeah.
Slowly but surely.
Yes.
That's awesome. Okay. So what would you say has been the most rewarding part with you being a PhD student right now?
I feel like sharing my experiences and helping people. So I love helping college students that are involved or also not involved, that are interested in getting their PhD. So I feel like the most wonderful part of all this is being in a position where I can actually tell people how it's like and things they can do to get to where I am. So I feel like that's the most interesting thing of this whole journey. There's so many interesting things, but that has been the most for me because, like I said, I have a heart for mentorship. Aww. So I really like helping people get to positions I'm in, or even maybe go ahead of me. Who knows? But yeah, so that has been the most.
That's so beautiful. Look at you. Yeah, we need more people like this in our space, in our place. So if you're trying to get your PhD, you're thinking about it, you don't even know where to start, you can contact Gbemi, right? What's going to be your preferred mode of communication? So email? Yeah, an email will be good. I also have a website. I'll put it in the description box. Look at you. description box.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm gonna leave all the details in the description box. So if you're interested in talking to Gbemi, or even if you just want to like bounce anything academia with her, just reach out to her. She's very amazing to talk to. So what do you look forward to most, like, about graduating? Yeah, of course, getting your PhD.
Yes.
But what are you most excited about post PhD?
Yeah.
You know, shake your ass on the
I'm
Dubai.
done. Yes, the money. Well, first of all, I cannot wait to have doctor in front of my name.
Yes,
I feel like
put some respect on it.
I'm that person that will buy mugs, different things that have doctor.
I love it.
Doctor of philosophy on it, but
rightfully so.
But aside from that, I just feel like being in the position where I can mentor and help more people. I feel like that's what I'm mostly looking forward to. Obviously, making more money because the grad school stipend.
It does not add up.
It's not for the week. So obviously, making more money. And being in a room. One thing I look forward to the most is being in a room where, like, when I speak, people actually listen to me. You know, like being that person, being the lead,
being an expert,
Moya, English queen, an expert in my field, where when I stand up to speak, people actually listen to me.
Love it.
They trust what I'm saying, and aside from that, they don't feel like scared to reach out and learn under me or learn from me. So that's something I really look forward to. And one thing I always envision is standing in front of thousands of girls and sharing my experience and giving them opportunities or the things they need in order to achieve what I have achieved, and even better than what I've achieved. So that's what I'm really looking forward to.
So sweet. That's awesome.
Money too, though.
It's important. I hear a lot of horror stories. Like, PhD generally has some type of bad rap in terms of, you know, obviously it's a lot of work, rightfully so. You're deep in research, and you're supposed to know, like, you're supposed to be an expert within that particular domain. But also people like talk about some of their experiences in terms of maybe their advisors or, like, you know, people they work with. And so people end up spending like ridiculous amounts of time in school. Can you like give a little bit of insight into that and how you've been able to navigate that for yourself?
Yes, that was a really good question. So firstly, the one way you can avoid that, or one way you can navigate that, is asking people how that particular person is. So let's say you've gone on a school's website and you see like a couple of professors. Let's say you see two professors that you absolutely love, and not you love them, but you love their research. So one good way of like going through that is, first of all, trying to know them, and not knowing them by what they tell you about themselves, but what the people in their lab tell you, meaning their PhD students, what other students tell you, because many of these professors collaborate with other labs. So don't just ask their PhD students or their research assistants or whatever in their lab, but also talk to other PhD students or other grad students in other labs. So tell them, okay, ask them, oh, how is this person like? Do they expect me to work during the weekend? What time do they expect me to be in lab? Because you will be surprised. Some PIs expect their students to be in lab by 8 a.m. I actually know someone whose PI had lab meetings at 8 a.m. or earlier than that. I'm like, that's just 8 a.m. obviously not too bad, but I think he had it earlier than that. I was like, that's just too much. Like, you need to calm down. And some PIs give their students ridiculous amount of work. And they don't think, or they don't realize that they're already like giving them so much work to do. So just asking around and knowing what how the person is, and also asking people how long other students have spent in their lab. Like, okay,
right?
Because you would like,
do you have someone that's been there for 10 years?
Bro, so asking about how the other grad students in their lab have, like, how long they've spent. So if you hear about a lab where all the grad students have spent 8 years, 9 years, don't go there.
She has worked,
you know the work. You love the work. If you don't want to spend that long in school, don't go there. Don't even try. Well, it depends on you, but oh yeah. So also asking how long their students spend is also good. And yeah, I feel like those are the two, because you really don't know. You can't know how someone behaves if you don't ask around and ask what other people think about them. So that's a great way.
That's
to
really good advice. Definitely really good.
Yeah.
So we're wrapping up here, Gbemi. I know you've given a lot of tips and tricks here and there. You sprinkled it all over this video. But what would be like, that one thing if you were to sit down and talk to Gbemi, 16, 17-year-old Gbemi, and thinking about going to PhD? What's the biggest advice you would give?
Yes, seek out opportunities right from the get-go. Meaning from my freshman year or from your freshman year, seek out opportunities. Don't wait till your junior or senior year, because what you realize is like you've wasted so much time. And I feel like if you start seeking out opportunities from your freshman year, you will know what you like and you don't like. You will be able to figure out, oh, I prefer working on the brain, or I prefer working on the heart, or I prefer working on the skin, or whatever you want to do. Or if you also, not just research opportunities, but also internship opportunities, you can realize that, oh, I don't like working in industry, I like working in research. Or, oh, I don't like working in research, I prefer working in internship, in industry, I mean. So if I was going to tell 16-year-old Gbemi anything, that would be something I'll tell her. Look for an internship, join a lab early on, right from your freshman year, and that will help you figure out exactly what you want to do.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. Thank you so much, Gbemi. This was really great. And I hope that we can come eat jollof in a few years when you're done with your PhD. And I can't wait to see you on TED Talks and podiums, and you just talking about your research. I'm going to be pouncing so hard. I know her. She's my friend. But yeah, that's awesome. Thank you so much. And guys, like I said, if you want to reach out to Gbemi, I'll leave it in the description box. And also give this video a thumbs up, follow me, subscribe to my channel. And if you found this useful, comment, say something. Or even if it's not for you, share it. Send it to someone. Don't be stingy.
Yeah, exactly.
Share it. But thank you, and I hope to talk to you guys soon. Bye.